So we're back here at the wargaming table playing some Warhammer Ancient Battles. Continuing on with my Macedonian army of Greek mercenaries. Went up against some Persians, including a unit of Persian immortals. The basic idea for the Macedonian turn is to just march ahead, full movement, with the thrusting spear armed hoplites and the sword armed hoplites with the commander and musician. And then on the Macedonian right, we're going to move one more turn. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show how the rules are designed because I'm going to go ahead and charge with these Greek mercenary cavalry. The reason is because they're going to fall short, which we'll see how that plays through with the rules. So we're going to declare a charge. They're going to fall short, and they're charging the Mardian archers on the Persian side. So we'll have to look at shooting at chargers. So we'll look at all of that this turn, the Macedonian / Greek mercenary turn. So I didn't see any start of turn activities. That's the first phase of the turn. So we're moving on to the second phase, the movement phase, and the first step is declare charges. So we are declaring the charge with the Greek mercenary cavalry there. We have no fleeing troops to rally or attempt to rally. No compulsory moves, so we move chargers. Move charging troops and resolve other movement resulting from the charge. So declare charges. So to declare a charge, you must indicate which of your units is charging and which enemy unit is going to charge. So I already talked about that. Greek mercenary cavalry, Persian Mardian archers. The charge distance is a maximum distance of double its normal move. Forgot to check that. The Greek mercenary cavalry right there has a move of 6 right there. Come on. There we go. Cavalry Greek horse, movement of 6. So actually, I completely misjudged that. They're going to fall well short. So let's see how that works. So they do have a movement of 6. So their charge distance is 12. So we declared the charges at the start. Now we're moving chargers. So what happens now? Move chargers. Once any compulsory moves are complete, it's time for the player to move any units that have declared a charge. Chargers are moved toward the target in accordance with the rules in the next section. When troops charge, they move twice as fast as normal, representing a run or gallop. This double speed move is a charge move. Sometimes you may find yourself able to... So do we charge now? Actually, it has the charge responses. So once you've declared all your charges, your opponent declares how his charged units will respond. Okay. I already know they're going to fall short. So I guess the Mardian archers would stand and shoot. If the charge unit is equipped with missile weapons and the chargers are more than half their charge distance away, yeah, they're way beyond that, then the charged unit can shoot at the chargers as they advance. Work this out immediately. Refer to the shooting section for rules governing missile weapons. So we know the Mardian archers are going to stand and shoot. We know that the Greek cavalry are going to fall short. So then what? Remaining moves. Moving troops. Movement rate. Okay, so their normal move is 6. The charging move is going to be 12. So now let's jump forward and see what the Mardian archers do. Okay, I should have paid attention to the fact that there's a whole section on charging. So, so I guess, what do we do first? Figure out the failed charge first or do the shooting? Let's look at the shooting. So now we're back to shooting at chargers. A unit armed with missile weapons can stand and shoot or fire and flee at enemies charging them from more than half their charge distance. Work out shooting at short range. Work out shooting at short range for the weapon, regardless of the range at the start of the charge. It is assumed that shooters wait until the last moment before drawing weapons or turning to flee. Okay. When shooting at a charging unit, an additional -1 to hit penalty is imposed. This represents the unnerving effect of the charging enemy upon their shooter's aim. Okay, units which shoot at chargers do so out of the normal turn sequence in the other side's movement phase before chargers are moved. There we go. All right, so interestingly, I do consider this rather odd. So the Mardian archers, way over here, are going to shoot at the cavalry now. And it's going to be worked out at short range. I guess that's what it means. So now does massed archery apply? All right, so right away I want to point out that I did miss this, as I'm going to miss a lot of stuff since I'm stepping through this slowly. Mardians may fire 2 ranks at full effective stationary. Other ranks used massed archery as normal. So last turn, when I only fired with the first rank of Mardian archers, I should have fired, I think, with the front 2 ranks. So I should have rolled 8 instead of 4 dice. So, but I do have massed archery. Oh, and the front 2 ranks will fire now as well at the chargers. Okay, it looks to me like in the massed archery, I'm basically going to use the rear ranks, but I'm going to have them round down to simulate their decreased accuracy. Yeah, so I think that is going to apply to our Mardian archers. So as before, we know our to hit is 4+, according to the Mardian archers' ballistic skill. But now what to hit modifiers apply? Not a large target. They're not moving this turn, so that does not apply. They are shooting at an enemy who is charging. So that's -1. It's not long range. No character model, skirmisher formations, no. Shooting at a moving light chariot, no. And no cover. So it's just, what is it? Just -1 for the charging. Okay, so 5s or 6s will hit. So just, by the way, here are our Mardian archers. Because of the Mardian archer's specific characteristic, the front 2 ranks are going to shoot. That's the first rank, the second rank. If I didn't say second rank, I should have said second rank. The first 2 ranks are shooting. The rear rank is shooting as massed archery, which is 1/2 strength rounded down. We have 4. Halved rounded down is 2. So I'm rolling all those dice and I'm hitting on 5s or 6s. So I think well, let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so they get 4 hits. 4 hits. Now that we have our 4 hits, we're going to figure our wounds, and to do that, we're going to first look at the Mardian archer's strength, which is 3. We're going to compare that to the cavalry's toughness of 3. So 3 to 3. 3 to 3. So the weapon strength 3, target toughness 3 is 4+. So I think we take these 4. Ah, great. All right, so no wounds. I think that's it. Wow. I guess the Greek cavalry was quite lucky there. So that was their stand and fire. So I guess we pick up now the Greek cavalry's charge, which we know is going to fall short anyways. I keep mentioning that I know it's going to fail. You're not supposed to pre-measure. Learning the game now, I did pre-measure, so I know it's going to fail the charge, but normally you don't measure it first. So, okay, so I guess I move them now. They have to move straight towards there. Double the normal rate, but must make a huge reduction for training crossing obstacles. So they move 6 doubled to 12 like that. And that's what I mean by falling short of their target there. So now a failed charge. If the chargers have estimated their move incorrectly, you may find the chargers can't move far enough to reach their intended target. If this is the case, the charge has failed. If a charge fails, the unit is moved its normal move distance rather than its double speed. Yeah. Back it up here. Alright. Your troops have begun to charge, realize it is impossible to cover the distance, and their movement has petered out as they lose their enthusiasm. A unit that fails its charge cannot shoot with missile weapons that turn. Kind of makes me wonder whether the Mardian archers would have actually gotten their fire in. Go back to the stand and shoot. So when does it come in? Okay, once again, charge responses are supposed to be declared, as I see, right after the charge is declared, which is at the start of the move phase. So the Mardian archers would say, we're standing and shooting. Yeah. Anyways, maybe I missed something in particular, but that was the actually that is the Macedonian turn. Charge failed. And then move my infantry, and then we'll jump over to the Persians. So the Greek mercenaries move 4 straight on. So next is the Persian turn. So on the Persian side, I guess for a little bit of fun, I think I am going to keep the archers where they're at, move up the infantry, and to start curving the line a little bit here and get these guys forward all the way, the javelineers, as far as I can, so that hopefully they can get some shooting combat in starting next turn. So the javelineers as light infantry went ahead and picked up their pace to their full move of 5. The immortals moved their full move of 4. The javelineers stayed put, and the Persian infantry started to angle their line to link the archers with the immortals. Now I think the Mardian archers get a full normal ranged attack against the cavalry again. Yeah. So all right. So again, I think it's first 2 ranks at full force, half strength of the 3rd rank. Now there are no modifiers, because it's not that they're firing at chargers. I don't think any of the other modifiers apply, so now it's a straight 4 or higher. So they get 5 hits. 4+ for the wounds again. 4+, so they get 4 arms, 2 2 wounds. Now I think these 2 dice go to the Macedonian player, who's going to roll for saves or whatever. I can't remember exactly what they call it. Okay, so we have the armor section. Models that are wounded still have a chance to avoid damage if they are wearing armor, carrying shields, or if they are cavalry. We have all of those cases. These models have armor saving roll or armor save. Roll 1d6 for each wound your troops have suffered. If you're greater than or equal to the armor saving throw of the model, the wound has been absorbed or deflected by its armor. Okay, so now we'll figure out... Oh, cavalry models automatically have a saving throw of 6, even if the rider is wearing no armor. Well, no, they are wearing armor. Okay. All right, so now we'll figure out what it is for the Greek cavalry. So just going off of the models themselves, now I notice it looks like 4 of the 6 are equipped with shields, so I'm sure there might be a way to factor in mixed equipment maybe. I'll just keep it simple and say I'll treat them as shield armed, and they look like lightly armed as well. So going to the saving throw chart, cavalry with shield, light armor type, we're going to save on a 4, 5, or 6. So take those 2 wounds. Only saved 1. So we did had our first casualty. So as I understand it, we take it from the back of the unit. So I got our first casualty. Now I don't think for shooting combat I don't think for shooting combat. Well, I don't know what effects that does. Having taken the first casualty on the Macedonian side. Okay, so casualty comes from the back of the unit there, or it's removed from the back of the unit, showing that maybe the rider here fell, simulated and all that stuff, and they moved up. But there we go, first blood, and it doesn't look like there is any morale test check or anything like that at this point, anyways. Not like in close combat. So there we go. Our Mardian archers do the first blood, and so there's no Persian close combat, and so we'll pick up again with the Macedonian Greek mercenary army. Again, we will. So now again, I'm not going to make the mistake of misjudging the charge. So actually, they're going to do a normal move and try to get into charging position again. And we're going to move forward with our infantry, a full move. So I'll just pick it up after all that, because we'll have no ranged combat. They're getting really close. So I'm looking over here. Right here. So could these guys declare a charge and try to close the distance here? I'm eyeballing this and saying probably not close enough again, so I won't do that. So I will just continue on with one more normal move, and then if the Persians don't close the distance for hand to hand, the Macedonians and Greeks will next turn. By the way, all of my movements so far have been just straight on. I'm going to take a look at the rules right away for how I get these cavalry to wheel out and get out farther on the Macedonian Greek mercenary far right. So I'll take a quick look at those rules. So the Greek mercenary cavalry here did move out a bit. to the flank by doing 2 short wheels and 1 short forward movement. Basically just pivoting on a base corner. And also important is that I did see that you can possibly have to check for panic due solely to shooting casualties. I don't think it applied in my earlier case where the cavalry lost that 1 figure, but I did note that it is something to pay attention to. So the general idea for the Persians is that our javelineers will stay put, but launch their javelins. Javelins have a range of 8, if I remember correctly, so that's easily within range of the hoplites here. The immortals will move forward a bit to contact javelineers here on their rear left there. The infantry, actually, the archers are going to fire, as you can imagine, but actually I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to jump right in. I think the Persian infantry here is actually going to try charging the cavalry here. No, actually I'll wait. I think they're barely within range, but actually I'm going to wait 1 more turn, try to pick off another target or 2 with the bows, and the infantry will again cover the gap between the archers and the immortals. And there will again be no close combat during this Persian turn. So the Mardian archers are going to fire again at the Greek cavalry there. They get what was that, 5 hits, exactly 50%. Rolling for wounds, they get 3 wounds, and so the Greek cavalry roll for saves, and it's 4, 5, or 6 because of the light armor, shield, and cavalry. 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so here's what they rolled. So they have 2 saves, again resulting in 1 casualty. So now we're going to look, and we have, this is how I understand it, we have 5 figures remaining. The loss is 1, which is 20%. If it is 25% or more, they're going to be rolling for panic, as I understand it. So go ahead. Oh no, that's right. No, there we go. All right. So now they've lost two cavalry. So they're getting picked off as they move across the battlefield here. Interesting. So now next we will let's take a look at, so again now I think that the cavalry here can wheel first and charge into the bows, archers. Sword armed. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to fire with the javelineers. Okay, I got this right. The javelineers are only going to fire with the front rank. The javelins, I don't think, qualify for massed archery. The Takabara unit type doesn't have anything special that I can see with respect to shooting combat, so I think it's just the front rank. Is shooting, and if I see correctly, the ballistic skill and the strength are actually the same as the Mardian archers, 3 and 3. So first, let's see. Okay, so I don't see any modifiers that apply, so I think it's just 4, 5, or 4 plus to hit. So they got 50% to hits, and then to wound. I need to see the toughness of the hoplites here. So it's 3 and 3. 3 strength for the javeliniers, 3 toughness for the hoplites there. So again, 50-50 chance. And so now there's 1 wound that the hoplites need to see if they can deflect. So now we're looking at the infantry. Let's see, with shield, light armor, 5 or 6 to save. Does that qualify as a large shield? Let's see the army list. All right, so looking at the army list information for the hoplites, they do qualify as large shield, so it should be +1, which means that it's really a 4, 5, or 6. So 4 plus 1 is 5. You need a 5 or 6 to save from the wound, so they make it. So javelineers fired, and did not succeed in eliminating any of the hoplites there. So now the Macedonians and Greeks here, what are they going to do? They have the thrusting spear. They might as well close the distance because they're facing off against those javelineers. Now they're in charging distance. The sword-armed hoplites here are going to make 1 more normal move before they charge. They're probably going to go after the regular Persian infantry and not the immortals. And then the cavalry, again, I think that they will be able to wheel and charge on to the bows. Try to survive another massed archery attack from the Mardian archers. Okay, so since the Greek cavalry declare a charge, the Mardian archers choose to stand and fire. So they get their massed volley, and it'll just be -1 for chargers. So should be a hit on a 5 or 6. So they get 3 hits. I think it's 4 plus to wound, and then save is still 4, 5, or 6. They don't save. Don't save. Wow. So they take another. Oh. And that's 25%, by the way. I put that behind there. It's 25% losses from archery. I think they have to do a panic test. I think they do it now, but anyways, let's assume that they do. So let's take a look at, I think it's a type of leadership test. Yeah, I should have looked at this up earlier. So taking a panic test, roll 2d6, compare the result of the unit's leadership value. I'm going to modify it. Thought I was going to modify it. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the break test. Taking a panic test. Roll 2d6, compare the result of the unit's leadership value. If the result is less than or equal to the unit's leadership score, the test is passed. And all is well. But if it's greater than, the test has failed. So then we'll go to what happens with what would then be a failed charge, I guess. Okay. Okay. Take a look at what, I guess what modifiers apply. So I checked. The Greek cavalry here have a very average leadership of 7, and I don't see any modifiers that apply, so it's just a straight leadership test. They barely make it. Okay. And it does give you an idea of what happens if they were to fail this test during their charge, but they didn't, so they lost another figure. And by the way, I forgot, there might be a minimum, something like 5 or less figures. I think you're automatically supposed to be checking. Anyways, I don't know, something like that. I gotta check on that. But so that was the stand and shoot response by the Mardian archers. So now they, yeah, I think they move. So again, I think that they can, all right, I think they can wheel, and then they charge, contact, and I think that they close up like that, 1-to-1. Review some things real quickly. Okay, so I think I did that cavalry charge correctly. So they're in position for hand-to-hand combat. I think, well, I moved the sword-armed hoplites forward towards their intended target here. And over here, I don't think that the javelineers can choose to shoot and stand. So I think they're just going to choose to stand, and then I think the hoplites here get to charge into contact. So I think we finally get to execute a close combat phase. And the first step of this phase is fight combat. Units involved in combat, fight. It's going to be simultaneous. Fight all the combats before working out the results. So I think we're going to have this close combat and obviously this close combat. So this is going to be very similar to shooting. Again, it's going to be to hit, wound, and armor saves. So of course we'll be using the. Oh, we have to consider who strikes first. So I'm gonna compare the initiatives for, wait a minute, troops that have charged that turn will automatically strike first. Okay, so the Greeks are gonna strike first this turn anyways, so we know who strikes first in both cases. Okay, then we know who's, oh, actually I need to double check what the thrusting spears do for close combat, whether the second rank can get involved, and then we'll compare the attacker's weapon skill to the opponent's or the target's weapon skill, and we'll go from there. Okay, there is a provision for the second rank to engage in combat with their thrusting spears, but not in the same turn that they move or charge. They charged into contact, so it is going to only be the front rank. We know in this case the Greeks are going first because they charged this turn. So now we'll get that to hit number by comparing weapon skills. So the first rank of thrusting spear armed hoplites attack. It's a 3-to-3 weapon skill, so it's a 4+ to hit. They actually get 4 hits. Now to wound, That is strength to toughness. Yeah, strength to toughness. That's again 3 to 3. 3 strength for the hoplites, 3 toughness for the Persians, the Takabara. So it's 4 plus. So they only get one wound, and then so the bucklers do count for the Persians there, because it's in hand to hand. But they are infantry with, I guess that's light armor. I'll double check that. Light armor with shield, because the buckler counts in hand to hand. So it's a 5 or 6 to save. 5 or 6 to save. Oh, so they do not save. So the take off the rear, we'll put it behind. It should show that the Persian Takabara unit took their first casualty. Now I think that the Takabara fight back. Okay, first question is, I'm not sure the Takabara count as light armored at all. I'll take a look at that later. I went with it this time. Here, I think the Takabara are fighting back. I think it's 3 to 3 skill. So they get 2 hits. Yeah. I'm not sure I read my dice right. Maybe that was 3 hits. I don't know. Not paying close enough attention to my die rolls here. Okay, so 2 hits, and then it's 4 plus. Oh, so they didn't get any wounds. So that was that. So now pretty clear. See the result. Oh well. Actually, I guess we should resolve the other combat over here. So here, as far as I can see, well, at this point anyways, I see that the cavalry have a weapon strength of 3 to a Mardian archer weapon strength of 2, which means that it's 3 plus to hit. So they get 2 hits. And then strength to toughness again is 3 to 3, so it's just 4 plus, so they get 1. And the Mardian archers can be light armored, so but no shield. So their save is without shield. Light is a 6. So they do not save. So they lose an archer, put it behind. Now let's go through and figure the results. Okay, back to this combat. Now we're doing results. The Greeks caused 1 casualty, so I think they start with 1. I think they get the infantry rank bonus. I think they do. So it's plus 1 for the second rank, plus another for the third rank, so it's 3 now. So 3 to 0, because the Persians caused no casualties. So I think it's 3 to 0. And then I think we go to a break test. Roll 2d6. I think it's I think you roll like that, 6, and I think you add the difference between the winners and losers combat score. So I think you're going to add 3, because the Greeks had 3, Persians 0. So I think you go 6, 7, 8, 9. The total is greater than the unit's leadership value, than the unit's broken. I'm pretty sure Takabara, yeah, they have a leadership of 7, average 7. So they failed. So it's broken. Broken units will turn and flee once all combat on the entire battlefield has been worked out. Okay, so we know they're fleeing. And now we go over here. I guess this is obviously the Greeks caused 1, so they start with 1. There's no infantry rank bonus, no standard, battle standard, high ground, flank attack, rear attack, or destroyed chariot. So I guess it's just +1. Okay, so this is 8. I think they have a leadership of 7 too, if I saw that correctly. So 8 + 1 is 9. So they fail too. So now going back to the, so we have 2 broken units. I turned the rear figures around in both units to show that they're broken. And by the way, I went ahead and did a panic test for these 2 units that are within 12 inches of units that have broken. They both passed, so they did not panic. Real quickly, the Javelineers, they have to flee. They roll 2d6. They rolled an 8, so they turn and flee 8 inches. Similarly, the Mardian archers rolled 2d6. They rolled a 7, so they turn around and flee straight back 7 inches. So we had 2 extreme results here. The thrusting, spear-armed hoplites pursued with a paltry die roll of 3, which I'll move them, but they're not going to catch their fleeing targets. And on the other side of the battlefield, the cavalry rolled a 10, which means that they're going to charge straight to and through the archers and destroy them in the process. So I'll go ahead and move them. So at the end of the turn, we have triumphant Greek cavalry over here, advancing hoplites in the center and advancing hoplites on the left. And 1/3 of the Persian army has broken.